DJ Bean, WEI.com. Coach, first of all, how's David Krejci? And if you got a chance to see the hit, what you thought of it?
Yeah, no, David's fine. There's we had a bunch of guys stay off today, and it's more of an optional and short skate, so there's no issues with David. He's playing tomorrow with no issues at all. I guess it's if you have time to look at the replay and you can look at it in slow motion and you can do all that stuff, you're going to say, well, it was a good hit. And, it's happened to us before from our end of it, and sometimes you get called for penalties. The one thing that we always said is that, the league is very sensitive to head issues, and, so sometimes they're making a call, and it wasn't the right call, but at the same time, they could have had a second penalty on that same play where the goaltender touched the puck outside the area, and the referee was there, and I think he didn't call it, and because probably trying to make up for it. So this is about being smart about those kind of things, and there was no issues from my end of it, and kind of made up for it. So I think it all evened out in the end, and that's what we talk about when play games. For the most part, you're always going to get some tough calls going against you or against the other team, and at the end of the night, most of the time it all evens out. So it's just one of those situations.
Doug Flynn, Mets.com. Coach, you talked earlier in the week in the series here about trying to get the best out of Thomas Cavalier. It seems like he has turned a corner his last few games. What have you seen out of his game, and what's he improved at? How do you feel about where he stands now?
Well, I think he's played really well, Doug, and you're right, in the last couple of games. And, we had a conversation about, maybe taking some pressure off his shoulders about, everything that wasn't going right about the power play. Fingers kept pointing at him, and he's more than just that. He's a good puck mover, and he can play a pretty good game when he's on top of it. And, we have confidence in him, and I told him that we know he can certainly help us. And I think he's relaxed a little bit, which has given him some confidence in his game. And I think the last two games he's been a better player. He's passing, he's more poised, he's a little bit more aggressive, and he's not sitting on his heels. And I think that's made a big difference in his game. And we say it almost every day when we talk about players, and it's about confidence. That word confidence plays big, and whether he feels it from others or whether he plays with it, it makes a big difference in a player's reaction.
Claude Scott, Burnside, ESPN.com. Just back to the officials part. Is that something as a coach you have to sort of learn to accept, not to get wound up when you don't like a call and you see a call that's not made? And is that something you've had to sort of come to grips with as time passes?
Well, yeah, but I think if you've seen me before, I still react. There's no doubt you get upset at times, and it's almost a bit of a natural reaction. But you try not to. And you try not to overreact. You realize the consequences it can have on your bench as well. And you want to keep your guys focused. So sometimes it's a lot better to keep that reaction at a minimal and try to keep your team focused. Most of the time, if it's I've seen most of the bad penalties, you manage to kill. So it's about going out there and doing a job and yelling the guy out.